Hello, warriors. Welcome to the You Movement. I am B. It is about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I woke up to a plethora of questions asking me, how did I this? How did I that? How did I this? In response to a post that I made over there on Facebook outlining all of the things that I cured in hopes to inspire other people to cure and quit some things as well. So welcome to all of the new warriors that have joined my channel. I greatly appreciate you here. The first thing I'm going to suggest is navigating my channel through the playlists is the best way to kind of isolate areas of interest that you might be looking for. I have my channel divided up into parts through the playlists, focusing on addictions, focusing on the body, focusing on emotions, focusing on awakenings, focusing on trauma, focusing on narcissistic abuse, focusing on, and so on. And while I have divided up playlists, and there will be crossovers on those playlists, but while I've divided up playlists, be forewarned that you can't divide up yourself. So in answering the question, how did I cure or how did I whatever, first, there isn't a quick one answer. If you have a condition on the physical, that is interlinked with the emotional, with the mental, and the spiritual bodies. So we are a whole being. Within our whole beingness, we have a physical body, that's our smallest sense of self. We have an etheric body, we have an emotional body, we have a mental body, and we have a spiritual body. That is the auric field. So each influences the other. There can't be anything that happens on one of our bodies that isn't affected in the other bodies. So I recently had somebody get a little cross with me and say that their problem wasn't a spiritual problem. And while I can appreciate that when you're having a physical manifestation of disease or illness or chronic pain, you might think to yourself, this is a physical problem. This isn't a spiritual problem. But the reality is it's an everything problem, because you cannot dissect the human into multiple segments, even though that is naturally our approach to looking at people through Western medicine, is to dissect people up into, well, you know, this is diabetes, so therefore it's a blood problem. This is sleep apnea, so therefore it's a breathing problem. Nothing is isolated within a vacuum. Everything is in the whole. So how I fixed or cured or quit things became a process in utilizing my understandings of the energetics of a human through the lens of my training as a Reiki Master and a teacher of spiritual truths. So before I got very ill, about 10, 15 years ago, I had my own business as a Reiki Master, and I taught my own courses. This is before everything in my life went, but I did, and I wrote a book. Now, it's just like a booklet. I've never brought it to market or anything, but you can see it's an extensive book that outlines the entire chakra system. And I used to teach this. This is my own creation after a lot of research. And what I might do is go deep dive into this book in future videos so that you can understand the interconnectedness of all things. Because this research and this book is really the basis for me to understand how everything plays out. Now, what I mean by that is I look at things from a very symbolic point of view, as opposed to just segmenting out and saying, okay, I have diabetes. From a spiritual or greater point of view, symbolic point of view of the energy, diabetes is an imbalance of sugars. Sugars represent sweetness. So if you have an imbalance of sweetness in your life energetically, that means that you are living a life that is bitter. The opposite energy of sweet is bitter. So my sweet bitter axis was out of whack. Now that's going to sound maybe a little bit like what? So I needed to get my life to be sweeter naturally so that my sugars in my body would balance, come back into balance. So I did a multi-approach to it. I do a multi-approach to everything. I don't just ever look at just the physical. I have to look at the physical, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual realms to come up with a strategy that's going to work. So diabetes strategy started with quit sugar. I have to quit sugar so that I am not feeding myself more sugars. But as well as that is I have to make my life naturally sweeter, naturally better, naturally not, because if I'm taking away a synthetic energy, okay, and I call it synthetic because it's like, it's fake sweet. It's not the energy of sweet. And I had to replace the fake sweet with real sweet. And the real sweet was learning to love the fuck out of myself. And so I created the ABLE program to help boost me up, because the fake sweet life was attached to an emotion which was depressed and down and trying to synthetically make my life sweeter. And the mental process is, this sucks, self-loathing and all this. So they're all interconnected. You cannot just heal anything if you're not looking at it from the four windows and saying, this is a multi-approach. This is a holistic approach to healing. And when you start to see the interconnectedness of all areas, that, hey, my behavior and what I do is related to a certain way that I think, and the way that I think is related to a certain way that I feel, and the way that I feel is related to a certain way that I just am in the world. So understanding the interconnectedness is the fundamentals of how I approached my healing journey and my healing quest, with the knowledge that I had as an addictions counselor and as a teacher of spiritual truths and a Reiki master. So please feel free to go and look at all of the playlists so that you can help identify. The second thing I want to talk about is that healing is neither linear, nor is it, a continual flow. Healing looks like this. Back step, up. It's a bit of a dance as you peel away things. So as you peel away things, you're going to have some climbs, and you're going to have some pulled back down, because one thing influences another thing, which triggers another thing. So all of a sudden you're doing something on the physical and it seems to be going well, and look at me, I'm correcting my posture and I'm feeling great, and then you're down into the emotions and something's coming up there, and then you're up again, and then you're down again. And so please be very aware that healing is not just this nice, steady, constant climb. You will hit plateaus, you will go back down, you will go up, you will wonder, I'm not changing at all, I don't feel anything, nothing's happening, I'm not losing the weight fast enough, I'm not making progress. Even when you feel like you're not making progress, you're making progress. As long as you plug at it every single day. You need to be disciplined. If you are not disciplined, you will not make the changes that you need to make. So the saying goes, a journey of 1,000 steps starts with a single step, and you got to keep on stepping. So if you have a goal in mind of where you want to get, you just plug at it every single day, whether you see improvements in that day or not. When I was losing weight at the beginning, I didn't see and I didn't recognize the progress that I was making until all of a sudden I was about 60 pounds lighter. And I was like, oh my God, wow, I've lost a lot of weight, because the clothes weren't staying on my body anymore. They were just falling off. So I had to buy a whole new set of clothes. And then I had to buy another whole new set of clothes. So if your weight loss is your goal, just side note, don't invest in nice clothes until you're close to the end, because you will go through phases where I made that mistake. At one point I was like, I'm going to buy pretty dresses. I'm so excited. And like none of them fit me anymore. So plug away at it every single day. And it's very useful to keep looking back, be aware of where it is you started from. Because when you see where you started from, that's when you'll be like, oh, okay, I have made progress. So take a photo of yourself, mark down your weight, put some measurements on your body parts if you want. I didn't do that. I wish I had. That would have been a real tell. Because I was so disassociated when I started my healing journey. I wasn't even in my body. So it took a long period of time for me to even kind of like, what is happening? What's going on? I didn't even know. So, learn from what I didn't do as well as what I did. And I wish that I had, a proper before photo, like, okay, I'm starting today. Here's my proper photo, and choose to put yourself into, whatever bikini or something that you have. And then take your measurements and take your weight. When it comes to weight, please throw at the scale. If you're on the scale every single week or even day, it's just not going to be good for you mentally. Just get rid of your scale. Just get rid of it. Put it in the garage, pull it out in a year's time. It's not going to help you on your mission to be constantly monitoring a number that you're going to see go up and down. It's going to, in fact, probably take away some of your motivation. That's not what this is about. This is about how you feel. So use how you feel as your marker, how you feel in your clothes as your marker, and in a year's time, then weigh yourself. A bare minimum monthly, but like anything that you're weighing yourself more than monthly is going to just mess with your head, and you're not going to see the progress that you want to see as quickly as you want to see it, and it's going to like discourage you. So honestly, get rid of a scale. I don't own a scale. And so that's just a aside for weight loss, which is also important, I suppose, with other matrices. If you're constantly monitoring something, it is going to frustrate you, because even with my channel growth, it's been 3 years. If I was every single day going, what's happening with it, I would have been discouraged and stopped doing it. You can't do things for numbers. You have to do things for how you feel, how it makes you feel. Is got to be the motivation. I want to feel better. I want to feel happier. I want to feel sweeter. I want to feel soothed. I want to feel, how set the matrix as something that you can reach inside of yourself, not something that is outside of yourself, because then you'll just constantly, the marker will always move. Understanding that when you work in the physical, it's going to influence the emotional, and then emotional releases are going to come, is one of my strongest pieces of advice to prepare anybody who's healing anything, especially if what they're healing is addictions. Because addictions are like a levee that is keeping all the watery emotions at bay. And when the levee breaks, Be prepared for tsunamis of tears and floodings of emotions from the emotional. That's what we've been keeping. But when we heal the emotional realm and release it, it's going to help facilitate the healing in the physical. And when we heal the thinking, and the thinking is one of the trickiest. So I've kind of looked at it like healing my body was relatively easy in comparison to healing the other bodies. For me personally, that's not maybe going to be the same for you. Maybe you're comfortable in emotions. I was not comfortable emotions. So when I started healing the body and I'm like, oh my God, these are attached to all these emotions. And I started having emotion releases and I quit all the things that was keeping my emotions all locked away. That was a very difficult landscape for me to traverse. So in my mind's eye, I look at healing like a journey. I tend to like to associate myself with Frodo from Lord of the Rings. And he goes off on a long, arduous journey through many difficult landscapes. And so you too, on a healing journey, on a hero's quest, are going to go through many difficult landscapes. You're going to go through cold mountain ranges. You're going to go through wars with challengers. You're going to go through, and those challengers, are your own fears, your own shadow aspects of self, your people around you that may not support you. I just did a video on that the other day. Go through swamplands. You're going to feel stuck. You're going to feel in the muck. You're going to feel all kinds of things along a hero's journey. So if you visualize it like that, this is a quest. This isn't just a single solitary pursuit. It kind of inspires you to like, I can keep going. I am a hero, because you need to recast yourself as the hero in your story. And that's kind of where I started from. So is the approach in which you take and how you look at it, how you look at the journey that you're going through. So picking one thing at a time that you're going to work on it is recommended, because if you try to take on too much at once, that's also going to overload you. So right now I'm working on this mountain range. And once I accomplish this mountain range, I'll accomplish the next mountain range. And then I'll accomplish the next mountain range. And it's a long journey. Her healing, as I said, it's up and down. It's up and down. And so too, and it's intermingled. It's like unwrapping Christmas lights that are all tangled. It takes time and patience and precision and discipline. And there's a lot of energies that you're going to have to cultivate. Ultimately, I look at healing your body begins with getting yourself into perfect alignment. And I have a lot of videos on aligned walking that explain why you need to be in perfect alignment. But energetically, you want the flow of energy to help facilitate whatever you're doing. So the better your posture, the better everything else is going to be as well. It is also very important that you change how you view eating. Eating needs to be for function, not for pleasure. Especially if you're trying to heal anything on the physical. What we put into the body is what's going to help facilitate its healing and or its sickness. And if we're putting in the wrong things, we are going to get inundated with inflammation, as well as all number of problems. And most conditions are inflammation based. So I do have a playlist on food and diet and talking about how to eat an anti-inflammatory diet, or a low GI diet, or a keto diet. Although I'm not entirely keto, because there's things on keto that I don't eat. But I come from an approach of anti-inflammatory, anti-candida, low GI, all of those types of diets, because I'm going to put into my body functional foods that are going to help facilitate my healing. Even if I don't see that my healing has anything to do with the gut, I can tell you the gut has everything to do with every other area of your body. So just like we cannot dissect ourselves spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically, we cannot dissect the body into parts and just say, well, I have a sore foot. I have arthritis in my hand. I have a neck issue. Some chronic pain happening in my neck. I have sinusitis. That has nothing to do with my gut. It has all to do with your gut. Everything has to do with your gut. So we've got our physical structure and posture, and now we're working on getting our gut functioning up to par. Even memory loss. And, I failed an Alzheimer's test because I was there was so much inflammation in my body. And when I started tackling the inflammation and the candida is when a lot of my other conditions just fell away. So looking at this approach as being a multi-faceted approach to healing is what's going to help facilitate you. When you let go of certain behaviors, you need to replace it with new behaviors. Otherwise, you'll be left in a kind of void energy, is another key to healing. Certain things are going to take a lot longer to heal than other things. There's no, this only took me a month to heal, so the next thing is going to take me a shorter amount of time. Everything takes time. And it takes a lot of time. To heal your gut takes a lot of time. It took me years, not months, years of functional eating and repairing the leaky gut, which then gave the body the chance to heal the inflammation, which then gave, so I've been working on healing my nervous system since escaping from narcissistic abuse, and that one, regulating your nervous system, has to be, without question, one of the hardest things I've had to do, because it is interconnected with the emotions of fear, anxiety, panic, paranoia, because you don't feel safe. So regulating the nervous system has got to be, for me personally, my biggest challenger to date. That has been the most frustrating and the most arduous and the most nuanced, because what works for healing some things requiring a masculine energy of go, do it, and losing the weight was very much a masculine energy. So again, we're not just looking at ourselves from a whole perspective of our 4 quadrants. We're also looking at ourselves in perspective of masculine and feminine energy, the yin-yang energy, which needs to be balanced. So being active and going out and walking and going out and doing the yin yoga and doing was more comfortable for me than what is required to heal the nervous system. So what was required to heal the weight was action. What is required to heal the nervous system is restorative energy, resting, meditating, slow breathing, doing my cold showers, and resetting. And it is by small, tiny little increments that I get better. Where I was a year ago today was just a ball of nerves, just I still have moments, but it's coaxing as a different energy as opposed to pushing. You have to push for some things, and for other things you have to coax. So there has to be a different approach taken for different things. I'm still regulating my nervous system. I'm still dealing with bouts of anxiety and fear, and as each thing comes, I allow the emotions. I almost welcome emotional purges now. So get used to crying. Get used to the emotional purges, screaming, anger, whatever comes up. I can help you through the emotional scape. That one I've mastered. So it's like I mastered first the body, then I mastered the emotions, tackling the mind, because the mind connected to the nervous system, how we think about things, the fears that come up, the mental chatter, the intrusive thoughts. This is kind of the school that I'm in at the present moment in time, and it is beyond challenging. There is a mind playlist, and I utilize a lot of affirmations, a lot of soothing energies to soften and relax the nervous system, to retrain it that it's safe. So there are different challengers on each thing that you will face, and different approaches that need to be taken for each thing that you may face. And sometimes you're going to have to switch tack and say, okay, well, I've tried this and this isn't working, so now I have to try this. So sometimes there's, doing different things at different times. You can't just steadily do one thing, and there needs to be, just like there's day and night cycles, you need to sleep, you need to eat, you need to, so there's different approaches at different times. What else can I say in a general about my healing? Be gentle with yourself. Be gentle, very gentle with yourself. You need to learn to be your greatest cheerleader, because others aren't going to necessarily cheer you on and support you. And please watch yesterday's video if you want to understand that a little bit more. You need to be and give yourself all of the energies and wear multiple hats. So sometimes you're going to have to be your mother. And I did a mother to help a re-mother guided meditation the other day as well, to help guide you through some of the emotional landscape that is going to be activated when you start quitting or healing things. You need to be your own cheerleader. You need to be your own guru. You need to be your own doctor at times. You need to listen to your body more intensely than you've ever listened to your body before. Because we have been indoctrinated to segregate ourselves out, we have always placed our thinking mind as the most important thing that we need to listen to. It's actually the least, in my opinion. Yes, we have the capacity to use logic, but your mind can really run amok. So the more you get into your body and you listen to your body, and feed it the impulses that it requires. If it says it's tired, then let it sleep. If it says it's thirsty, then give it more fluids. If it says that it needs to stretch, then stretch. Really start listening to your body. Have conversations with your body. What do you need right now? What can I give you? And then give it. So that's what I mean by saying you need to be your own guru and your own doctor. Is if you're constantly looking for outside information as to, hey, I have an ache or pain here, what should I do about it? Why don't you ask your body what you should do about it? Maybe your body wants to stretch. Maybe your body wants to go for a walk. Maybe your body, start listening. You have to start creating a communication center to your body. You need to start communicating with your inner child. You need to start communicating with your shadows. You need to start the process of communicating. And that's not something that we have normally been led to do. It's going to take time. You have to be gentle. I'm sending you all my absolute love. If you have specific questions to any specific thing, please feel free to reach out and ask. You can leave me a comment because others might have opinions on that as well. I'm very excited to have you all here and to see if we can heal together, because this healing journey, if you have support, it's a whole lot easier. So welcome to the You Movement. I'm wishing you guys all the absolute success in finding your path to healing and wellness and alignment and balance and harmony and peace and bliss. That's the goal, is let's all get to a place of bliss. Thank you for all of the likes, the shares, the subscriptions, and the comments and the shares. Oh, I said that one. I really, really appreciate it. I'm a little overwhelmed. I'm a little overwhelmed. Peace out.